All right, guys, let's go down to Vegas here. And, I'm sorry that we couldn't bring you TFT and TBT last week. Everybody was sick. We had the swine flu. If kissing pigs were wrong, call me guilty. I love barnyard animals, especially pigs. In any case, exciting news for you this week, guys. We're starting a brand new segment here called NBA Breakdown with two of the coolest cats you've ever seen on TV. We've got Audley.
What's up?
And Dave.
How's it going, everybody?
And we're going to have to give Dave a different handle because Dave is, it's too Davey.
What kind of handle is that?
We got
Davey.
We got 5 segments we're going to talk about today, really quick. First on the list, guys, is Steve Nash. Went off for 20 points, 20 assists the other night. Guys, is he two-time NBA? Is he top 5 point guard? I would still say he's one of the best point guards in the NBA.
I agree with you.
He's still the top 5.
You don't bet against Steve Nash.
Yeah,
just because of age.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not enough. And he's been taking care of his body.
Yeah.
In the offseason, we all know about his regimen and the workout. He's preparing. He's proper preparation.
Right.
The whole time during the regular season last year, you see them. They pace his minutes. I got no interest in Steve Nash. He's the top guy.
He's still top 5. The guy's an amazing passer. We all know this. He's a good scorer as well. Is he the best still in the NBA? No.
One of the best.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
CP3?
Chris Paul. What? What's he done?
Have you seen the stats though? The guy puts up 20 points, 11 assists.
His number one question I hear from this guy is, what has he done in the playoffs? So let me ask you, what has Chris Paul done in the playoffs?
Do I see Steve Nash with a ring? Like, does he have a ring?
He's got a good point.
So then how does Chris Paul beat him then? Steve Nash has more than Chris Paul.
If we're measuring skills, Nash versus Paul delivers on the scoring stats. He delivers on the dishing stats.
But it's not about skills basketball. We all know.
Well, listen. Look at the guys that Nash had. The guys that Nash had.
Hold on.
Okay. Nash has more of a cast around him.
That means nothing. What's he done? Right. The question is, what's he done?
That question will be answered at the end of the season. You can tell me, guys, I'm very passionate. I feel about basketball. Next subject, guys. Next subject. Allen Iverson left the Memphis Grizzlies on a personal leave. We know what that means. He's pissed off about what his role is in the Memphis Grizzlies. What do they do right now? What's the next option?
You know what? I read a story with Lionel Hollins, the head coach of the Grizzlies, and he's saying, you know what, we'll move on without him. Like, they don't know when he's coming back. Personally, this is like the old story we've heard from Iverson before. The guy's always whining about, playing time, coming off the bench. That's great that you're a 4-time NBA scoring champion and MVP and all that stuff, but you know what? Like, how old are you now? You're like, what, 34 now? Dude, your skills are eroding. You know what I mean? Like, deal with the role coming off the bench.
What are they doing now?
Maybe he has a personal issue. I mean, come on, guys.
Great.
Listen, he's been injured, right?
He's been injured.
Yeah, he was injured. He came back. He played one game. He had minimal minutes, and then he goes off on personal leave. So how are we? I just don't think that's a bit too soon to assume that he in fact is pissed off with the team.
It could be too soon. You're absolutely right.
I mean, one thing, and in fact, I heard a comment from him saying, here's what he said. If my team is winning and I don't get any minutes, I'm okay with that. But if we're losing and I'm on the bench, I got a problem with that.
I think it's
so the one game that he sat out, they lost. So he's pissed off.
It's too
That's all it is.
incidental. It's all too
one game.
Iverson was
one game.
You guys complaining about coming off the bench, and then all of a sudden he takes a personal lead. You don't think that's coincidental?
But the team granted him the lead. It wasn't like he said himself, I'm out of here, I'm gone.
But you know what?
Right?
That could be the safe face. We don't know. But what I do know is that Mike Conley has been starting over with OJ Mayo over Allen Iverson for the last 5 or 6 games. We'll see how this plans out because Allen Iverson is still an NBA type point guard.
Sure.
With great skills. He would be a great value to have depending upon the role that he has, obviously.
Sure.
Dwayne Wade went up for 40 points 2 nights in a row. This cat is amazing. He is a perennial MVP nominee, but has never won so. In fact, there's been talk that Dwayne Wade should have won the MVP last year. Guys, is Dwayne Wade MVP caliber right?
Sure. The problem is his team, right?
Exactly.
When you talk about MVP, guys are talking about within the realm of MVP talk is what are they done for their team? Yeah. Have they elevated their team? Are they in title contention? Are they on the verge of being an NBA champion? Because if you're not going to win MVP, man.
Exactly.
Go in the last number of years, all the MVP award winners, where have they been? They've either been in the finals or on the verge of making the finals or been champions.
Agreed. You got to win.
And you know what sucks for Dwayne Wade is he's playing in the era of LeBron, Kobe. Those guys are going to steal the spotlight most of the time. But he's an incredible talent. He's going to win his MVP one day. No doubt about it.
I don't have anything with the era is in. It's coming down to the team.
I like that.
If this team wins, or if this team does well, finishes in the top 3 in the Eastern Conference, he'll be legitimately in the title in the conversation of MVP.
I think right now he's a legitimate conversation piece for MVP. Well,
but not a serious one. That's the problem.
Exactly right.
That's the problem.
What I'd like to see though is somebody else other than Kobe and LeBron winning. Because quite honestly, it's getting a little tired to see Kobe and LeBron. I'd like to see D-Wade win some.
Not much,
as well as Jose Calderon.
Get
him off the show. Get him off the show, man.
Come on.
The Raps started off great with a win over Cleveland at home. They've lost 2 in a row to San Antonio and Dallas by a huge margin. At this rate, they're going to be the worst defensive team in NBA history. Guys, what's wrong with the Raps defense? What the hell do we do to fix it?
It's called chemistry. That's the issue right now. This is a brand new team. You brought in 10 brand new players. They haven't played together. And that's exactly what we got to do. We got to give it time to let the pot boil, as I like to say. And when we've seen it mid-season, I think at the 20-game mark. By the 20-game mark, we should have a really good indication as to where these guys are going to be. And if it's not working, then I would say honestly look at things. But right now, we're 8 games into the season, 9 games into the season.
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what's going on. Training camp is only 2 weeks long.
Yeah.
And training camp, you're not playing against NBA talent. You're playing against each other.
Oh, can you
right? You know what I'm saying? That's not real talent. That's not real talent.
You think Mike Iverson was a good addition to the Raptors coaching staff?
Very interesting guy to have on your staff because personally, I think he's an insurance policy. If Jay Triano, the head coach of the Raps, doesn't come through, what do you know? Iverson right in there. You know, I can definitely see that happening.
That's a good call.
Yeah,
I like that.
In regards to the Raptors defense, can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I actually agree with this guy over here. It's just a matter of chemistry. It's just a matter of these new players getting used to the system that Triano's trying to implement. So it's just a matter of time.
Yeah,
good points, guys. Good points. And last on this subject here, I think it's a subject near and dear to both Dave and Ali's heart. Gilbert Arenas, who is a fantasy stud or a dud, depending on how you look at it, had 12 turnovers the other day as the starting point guard. Guys, he's not performing up to speed, obviously, as a max deal player. At what point do the Wizards make a decision to say it's not working out?
He signed like a monster deal a couple seasons ago.
$22 million a year, something like that?
Who knows? Yeah, something like that. 127 mil. Like, come on, you can't trade the guy. Who's gonna touch it?
You have to look at his last year contract before you think about moving him. No other team is gonna pick him up as is right now because it's not like an attitude thing. It's not like he's pissed off and says, "I don't want to play." A few years, Vince Carter was like, "I don't want to play any pack."
Exactly.
That's not what Gilbert Arenas is doing.
Exactly.
His body's breaking down on him.
That's right.
So who's gonna want that?
Exactly.
Which team? So unless he's in the final year of his deal and you're talking about cap space and trying to talk about freeing up some money, sure, maybe. Right. But if that doesn't happen,
but you know what? That's a good point because that point brings up another side, which is if Gilbert is hurt and he's breaking down, wouldn't it be better to trade him now while there's perceived value?
Two. It goes right back to that. So who's gonna want him?
Yeah.
I mean, who? I can't think.
Come playoffs? Anybody with cap space? Memphis?
Yeah,
Memphis. Memphis for
that'll go really well.
All right, guys. This is a tidbit, a little preview of what you got from David Otley. I'm going to be guest speaking every once in a while, but it's these guys shows from here on in. Every week, tune in for David Otley for NBA breakdown, and watch when they get to fist fights. It's going to be real fun.
He's got no chance.